One more thing. No, Anthony Davis did not request a trade, and a trade may not even happen before the end of this season. Today's Locked On Mavericks. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. It's the more thing, a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. If you missed the episode yesterday where we talked about the Mavs win against the Warriors, Slightly and I broke it all down. 4 wins in a row for the Mavs. Incredible. Go listen to that show. But today, Jason Kidd had some thoughts about Kyrie Irving, and so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Mavs potentially pushing Kyrie's return back until the beginning of next season. So we'll talk about that. I also want to talk about some random things from the game last night. Naji Marshall had a hilarious quote about his floater. Well, let's start here. We're in a day and age where every single report that any single person ever says gets aggregated a million times. Just reports just get thrown out all over the place. You open up your Twitter account, you open up whatever, and all of a sudden you just see big graphic with the words on the bottom, demanded a trade, like something like that. And it's just it just happens all over the place. And many players have demanded trades. It's not like a new thing or a novel thing where it's just only the star level, only the most powerful players, the LeBron James level players can actually demand trades. We've seen Jonathan Kuminga, who the Mavs just played, demand a trade from his team. We've seen Furkan Korkmaz from the Sixers a couple years ago demand a trade. We've seen a bunch of players demand trades. And so this Anthony Davis saga has been going back and forth. Mavs are open to trading him. You have Rich Paul and his camp trying to look for trades for him. You have the Anthony Davis seems like he's fine here, but would be open to going somewhere else and would be open to going to a playoff team. And especially a team that would give him a contract extension, because it doesn't look like the Mavs are interested in that. But then you get this thing on Thursday where all of a sudden, all over the place, plastered all over the place, including Yahoo Sports, Legion Hoops, all these accounts posting Anthony Davis is representation. Rich Paul has demanded that the Mavericks trade him by the end of the trade deadline. And so I'm like, ESPN reported this. I'm looking all over the place. I even sent it out to the subtext because I was like, well, if this is everywhere, this must be true. And got because I'm looking all over the place and I can't find it on ESPN anywhere. And even if that was true, it's one thing for Rich Paul to hey, we would like for my client Anthony Davis to be traded by the deadline week. That to me is different than a actual trade demand, right? So even the wording of he would like to be traded by trade deadline or in trade demand, those are even different things. And so all this is happening. And then Mark Stein comes from the top rope and says, I've been asking about this repeatedly in the past hour. When I checked, was told that no such request from Rich Paul has been issued. Such a request would make little sense with the deadline 2 weeks from today. And so you look at everything that's happening, and Tim McMahon actually reported this. He said the Mavs don't feel like they have to trade Anthony Davis by the deadline. And Tim said that if AD is on the Mavs to start next season, the Mavs don't see that as such a big problem. And I think that's where we are right now. If a trade is going to happen for Anthony Davis, it's coming out of nowhere. It's like any other trade we've seen from the Mavericks where it's there's nothing. All of a sudden, boom. It's like Charlotte Hornets trade for Anthony Davis. It's wait, well, where did they come from? We hadn't heard their name at all in this whole thing. That's where it's going to come from. Because right now, it doesn't seem like Toronto's that interested. It doesn't seem like the Hawks are interested anymore, according to Jake Fisher. You go through all these, and you're all the machinations of all these different trades we've heard all through these weeks. It doesn't look like one's going to happen. And if the Mavericks are okay with taking it into the offseason or starting the season next year with Anthony Davis, fine. Fine. They have some work to do, though. Between now and the beginning of next season, they got to get under the second apron. They have to figure out what their team is next year, and they got to figure out what their team, how they're going to stay healthy with all these guys. Because the Mavs want to be good next year because they have their pick is top 2 protected to the Hornets, ironically. And the Hornets would get the pick only if the Mavs would only get the pick if it was number 1 or number 2. So the Mavs have no incentive to be bad next season. They want to be good. They've got a bunch of good role players. They haven't traded any of them yet. They should have Lively coming back. Should have Anthony Davis coming back. Should have Kyrie coming back. Should have Gafford back from the ankle thing. They do have to make some kind of move because they are going to be a second apron team, and there's no way this team should go into next season as a second apron team. There's too many stipulations. There's too many restrictions. There's too many issues with that. And so they've got some moves to make, and that's it. And that's fine. That's fine. They also have less flexibility, and they are walking into next season with this team and and probably like less of this team. They'll have the 2026 first round pick that they'll add to this team. Hopefully it's a good player. Hopefully it's a Cam Boozer or somebody like that. But they'll have that guy. They'll have everybody on the roster right now. And then they're just walking into next season. And there's a very real chance we do this entire song and dance over again next season. Because Kyrie Irving's a year older coming off of the ACL. Anthony Davis is a year older coming off of all these different injuries. He still wants an extension. The Mavericks are not going to give him the extension. That whole thing is going to keep coming. And you know that Rich Paul and his client are going to make it uncomfortable for the Mavericks. These stories are just going to keep popping up. Rich Paul's going to keep talking about it on his podcast. They're just going to keep happening. And if the Mavs are fine with that, then all right. But it's going to be that way. I've been on the record to say I would like to see this team play together. But I also don't believe that they're ever going to be all healthy at the same time. Between Kyrie, AD, Lively, Flagg. Flagg is, only missed like 3 games. But I think between all of them, Gafford's injuries, PJ's injuries, like there's just been too many injuries over the last couple of years where you go, man, next season, they're set. All these commenters that are wanting me to eat crow and be like, look, they just got to wait till next season to be healthy. You're still out there. I still see your comments. I'm like, what are you even talking about? This team next year, I can't believe you wanted to trade Anthony Davis for Kuminga. Like, it's not about that. It's wanting to have more flexibility. It's wanting to have healthy players. It's wanting all these things. And we may do this whole thing over next season if this happens. Which, all right. McMahon also reported that the Mavs and Kyrie Irving will be having discussions about postponing his return until next season. Well, Jason Kidd had some comments about that, and it doesn't sound like they're necessarily on the same page with that. Let's talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs about Anthony Davis trade rumors is brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season. If you're listening to this early enough, you can get in on the action with NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel. It's 5 to 6:30 Central Time, so you can go see all the different kinds of fun stuff. I'm recording this early enough to where I can't see what the fun things are going to be yet, but they got a new tab called Raining Buckets. Each team to score 20 points in the first quarter, or in each quarter. That seems like a lock unless the Mavs offense lately, that seems to be a lock. Each team to score 105 points. It's plus 4,000. What's a crazy odds? They don't have any. I guess each team to have 5 players score 10 plus points. Ooh, that's kind of a fun one. Plus 15,000. There's all kinds of like fun things you can do on here and check out. Each team to score 50 points in each half. Plus 60,000. You find a good one where you're like, that's interesting. You find a good one where it's like high-powered offenses. Like, that's an interesting one. So, FanDuel, all kinds of boosts and bonuses during this happy hour. You can go check it out before tip-off. The FanDuel app. See what's dropping every Friday from 5 to 6:30 Central Time. Little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Also brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, or Game Time. Game Time has all kinds of different ways you can go watch sports. It's the best thing. Going to see Steph Curry go off the other night was just incredible. You have to see him before he's done. Like, you got to see LeBron. You've got to see KD. You've got to see Wemby. Like, there's just so many players you just have to see in person. It's just such a different experience. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets, fast, simple, and without the guesswork. Browsing the Game Time app is straightforward and intuitive. Finding tickets takes less than a couple taps. I've done it. I've gotten tickets for a lot of Dallas Wings games. I've gotten tickets for comedy, concerts, things like that. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. You do it like this. You download the Game Time app, you create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem this code, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. You get the view from your seats. You get to see exactly what you're going to pay at checkout. All the advantages with Game Time. You can get it with Game Time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's a One More Thing bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We're breaking down the Anthony Davis trade request that never really happened. Jason Kidd also had some comments about Kyrie Irving because Tim McMahon reported the Mavs, are going to have discussions with Kyrie about postponing his return until next season. It sounds like those discussions haven't happened yet, at least from Jason Kidd's perspective. And Jason Kidd had some interesting things to say about Kyrie in general. One of them that may be pointed towards me. See if you can hear it. Maybe I'm a narcissist, but it sounds like this is towards the episode I did the other day.
Well, there isn't anything new. I know there's a lot of speculation going on, but he's working extremely hard from rehab and spending some time with him yesterday. He's in good spirits and he feels great. And so at some point there will be a timeline, but right now there is no timeline. But as I said, spending time with him yesterday, he's working extremely hard. Don't take this out of content. Like he wants to get back. He wants to play. But when you come back from ACL, it's a time thing, and so mentally and physically, you want to be 100%. And so for him, he's doing both of those things at a high level. And at some point, there will be a schedule. Now, to the second part of your question, it would probably be after All-Star break. But there's also other plans that can come into play here too. Being able to get on the floor and play in an NBA game might be just a little bit different than practice. And so those might be boxes that he might want to check mentally and physically.
Much will the standings influence?
This part.
That has nothing to do with it. It's about, for him, mentally and physically, being able to play at the highest level, and in his mind, no one else's.
It's not about the standings in any way. Well, if you've listened to this show, if you're part of the Raccoon Squad, you listen to every episode, you know I did this whole thing. I do it every year where I say this section of games, this stretch of games defines the Mavs season. Well, it's this stretch of 7 games the Mavs are in right now. They just beat the Warriors. That's 1 win down. If the Mavs have a good record in these 7 games right before the trade deadline, I think they're more inclined to bring Kyrie Irving back, not trade Anthony Davis, not make big moves and trade a bunch of guys for pieces, not sell off a bunch of guys and just try and go for it. But he's like, the standings don't have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Okay. So wait, the Mavs are reportedly going to talk to Kyrie about postponing his return. What would determine if they wanted to postpone his return? And so this is where we're at odds. And of course, you've got the classic.
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
Which is just the drop that just keeps giving. Like just an incredible drop we get to keep using. Mavs are like a game and a half out of the play-in right now. 4 games back from the Blazers for 9th, which is not, that's not a crazy amount. The Warriors are 8th right now. They're going to fall out, I bet. That team just does not look that great. The Lakers have not played really good either. They're 6th right now. The Mavs are 8 games back from them. I don't think that number is insurmountable over the course of the whole rest of the season because of the direction Lakers are going right now. But you've got Timmy Man reporting that the Mavs are going to have discussions about postponing Kyrie's return. Jason Kidd saying Kyrie wants to come back, obviously. But, and the standings have nothing to do with it. All right, so what does? If the Mavs are if it's not the standings, then are the Mavs concerned that Kyrie Irving is not going to be healthy for the season? If he's not going to be ready to come back? There's just a lot of questions with it if that's going to be the case. And so if Jason Kidd is trying to tell us, well, it's about him. It's about Kyrie. It's about him being able to feel like he can play at the highest level. Okay. No other factors? Okay. All right. Just keeping that in mind. Just keeping that up there. Naji Marshall had this quote. I have to say this on the show somewhere. Naji Marshall had this quote last night after the game where I think it was Abby from DLLS asked him, do you think your floater is getting enough recognition around the league as being one of the best shots in the league? And Naji said, it's getting too much recognition. People are starting to figure it out, which is a hilarious quote from a player to say. For a player to say, like, hey, yo, guys, hey, like hold back the adoration and the praise right now because this is my go-to move. This is the shot that I'm scoring 18 points a game on right now over the last 20. Like this is doing great things for me. People don't need to know about it. I want to just keep it my secret because he does catch people off guard with it. I thought that was hilarious. Dirk was asked about Cooper Flagg's 3-ball, and he had a Freudian slip where he said, we're not concerned about Cooper Flagg's 3-ball. And then he corrected it real quick and was like, the Mavs are not concerned about his 3-ball. Loved that. Just keeping that up there up top. These 3 guys, the last 10 games, have been incredible. Max, Naji, Cooper Flagg, all averaging over 17 points a game. Naji, about 19 points, 5 rebounds, about 5 assists. Cooper Flagg, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Max Christie, 17 points on 50% shooting, 45% from 3 on about 8 attempts. These guys are crushing it right now. It's really fun to watch these 3 guys. They've made Mavs basketball fun again, which is great. The trade rumors are what they are. We'll see what happens. I do think the standings affect if Kyrie and AD comes back and all that stuff. But that's the show for today. Check out the Everydayers Club where you get ad-free episodes of this show and more. You can get access to our Discord as well. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.